Hi guys, hopefully you're doing really well and everything's kind of going with the flow. You're going with the flow. You're doing what you can to make sure that things are even between yourself and other people that are around you that you trust. Reciprocity is really important. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, you know how you have, let's say, okay, for example, floors or carpets. And the longer you wait, the more things build up, whether they be crumbs, dirt, debris, um, even like old dead skin cells and stuff like that, dust. So if you were to do something every day, let's say you give it a sweep, you give it a mop, or you vacuum it up, and you do this over the period of time that you're staying in the area, and you do it like once a day. Great, right? It makes it a lot less difficult to clean things up. Well, it's kind of the same as the general collective when it comes to trauma, or it comes to certain lessons that need to be learned, or it comes to certain karma that has to be resolved through those lessons being learned and not repeating the same cycles. So when it comes time to the cleanup, everybody has to do their part. Everybody has to do a little bit each, which makes it a whole lot easier for the rest of the general collective to come to this higher elevation that we're already entered into, and this higher state of being. All right, elevating our frequency, elevating our moods, making sure our mind frames are changed so it's not the same repetitive cycles again and again and again and again. And when we do this, it makes it a lot easier for the next generations to come. So it's kind of like cleaning in the sense that the more we do it on a regular basis, the more that we clean up after ourselves, the more that we make sure we're taking the necessary steps, the more that we're not repeating the same cycles by learning the lessons and transmuting that negative energy into positive. Keep in mind, energy doesn't cease to exist. It can be transmuted back and forth, and certain things can happen so that the cycles don't get repeated. And by doing this is our cleanup work, this is our shadow work, this is the stuff we're doing internally for ourselves, or the stuff we're doing to help our family. And the more we all participate, the more we all work together, the more we all learn and pass down that knowledge and help the future generations, the better things are. Because if not, then it piles up and piles up and piles up. And the problem with the reset that they had before the 1920s and stuff around that area, where they tried to wipe everything out, and that includes information that's supposed to be passed down to us. Our ancestors got used to teaching the younger youth generation. They got used to passing down knowledge. They wanted scripture or even writings for hieroglyphs or anything like that. They wanted to pass on knowledge for good reason, because it's supposed to help the next to come. And when things were erased, or they tried to control the narrative, and they tried to control what information was getting out, thinking that the rest of us have to pass through this fucking hoop or something just to even get accolades or recognition, or even just so that we could do our healing. They kind of tried to put a block and a stop on that, but that's lifted. The veils have lifted. The information's coming in kind of like a wave of emotion. It's a wave of energy, a wave of information, and now the new generations are having access so that they can learn and not repeat and make the same mistakes. In my opinion, war shouldn't even exist at this point, because we've had so much experience of in the past, and we've had certain things documented to allow us to learn from the fucking mistakes so we can move forward. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people up at the top who now are stepping down, or they're being removed from their positions that they did not earn. They kind of took it, and they were controlling and kind of puppeteering the narrative and the way things should go, which is BS if you ask me. They shouldn't have been given the right to do that. However, people in control of knowledge, people in control of that certain things that they keep from the rest of the general public or general collective, was their means of control. And honestly, if you ask me, it's just a means to not have to go within and do the healing work, which is painful. And I understand it. I understand why they did it. I don't say that it's an excuse, but they definitely did it to keep a control so that they didn't have to do their work. And they were just kind of siphoning and taking from other people, which is not okay. So when it comes to cleaning, even energetically, even our space, our own bodies, the rest of the people around us, and the way the world is working right now, the more we do it, the more we keep on top of it, the less of a chore it becomes, the less of a hassle it becomes. It makes it a lot easier to deal with a tiny little pile of dust on the floor or debris than to have to clean up a huge giant pile of shit, if you ask me. So yeah, it's very important that we do this sort of thing and we pass that kind of knowledge down to the next generation, because that is breaking the cycle, that is doing the healing work, that is making sure that the bloodline is clean and that we can move forward and stay elevated in a new kind of existence. All right, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Thank you to all those that continue to come and join me on this channel, the ones that support me energetically or even monetarily. If you want to make a donation, there's links in my YouTube channel. You can find it there. It's PayPal or e-transfer if you're in Canada. If you want a personal reading of mine, I will be getting back into doing the reading. I do the 13 zodiacs. I almost want to say 14, which is interesting. I do the 13 zodiacs, which means the dates are a little bit shifted. So let's say you thought you were a Libra. We're in Libra season when actually you're supposed to be a Scorpio or something like that. Or you're a Scorpio and actually with the date shifted over, if you do your research for the 13 zodiacs, you're actually a Libra, which may make a lot of sense to some people, okay? So remember to love you. Please do.